All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to break down the blueprint for a more inclusive India. We're going to get into the really important laws and standards that are making sure our country works for every single person. So, let's get started. Just think about this for a second. Imagine a world that just wasn't designed with you in mind, where a simple curb feels like a mountain, or a website is just a blank wall. For millions of people, this isn't some thought experiment. It's their daily reality. And that's exactly why we're talking about this, to really understand that accessibility isn't some optional add-on. It's a fundamental human right. So, where does this whole idea come from? Well, it starts on the global stage. India is a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. That means we made a promise to the world, and that international promise has become a national command. This isn't just a local thing, it's part of a huge global movement. And this quote, this really gets to the heart of it. Accessibility isn't something you do out of charity. It's not a nice to have. It is a fundamental right, just like any other. Keep this idea in your mind as we dig into the laws that make this principle real. Okay, so we have the principle. Now for the power behind it. This is the big one. The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act of 2016, or the RPWD Act. You can think of this as the Constitution for Inclusion in India. It's the law that gives real legal teeth to that fundamental right we just talked about. Now check out this number, 21. This number is a huge deal. The old law only recognized 7 disabilities. 7! The RPWD Act expanded that to 21, which includes so much more, from dwarfism and learning disabilities to acid attack survivors. It's a powerful statement about who belongs and who deserves protection. And believe me, this law is not just a bunch of nice ideas, it's a detailed game plan. Section 40, right here, basically tells the government, okay, you need to define exactly what accessible means. Section 42 brings everything digital, our websites, our apps, into the fold. Section 44 covers the physical world, our buildings and streets. And Section 46? That puts a clock on it, setting actual deadlines for getting this done. And make no mistake, this law means business. We're not talking about a slap on the wrist. A first offense might get you a fine of 10,000 rupees, but if it keeps happening, the fines can go all the way up to 5 lakh rupees. The message here is crystal clear. Accessibility is no longer a suggestion. It's a legal and financial must-do. All right, so we've got the legal side down, but what does this actually look like in the world around us? How do we build this accessible reality? Let's start with the physical places we use every single day. This might sound a little technical, harmonized guidelines, but think of it as the official rulebook for building an accessible India. And let me be really clear, these are not recommendations. This is the mandatory building code for creating a barrier-free country. Every building that serves the public has to follow these rules, period. So this is what that rulebook actually demands. It's all in the details. Ramps that have a gentle slope, 1/12, so they're easy to use. Toilets with grab bars and enough space to maneuver. And that tactile paving? You've definitely seen it on sidewalks. It's not just decoration, it's a language for the feet. The long lines guide you forward, and the dots warn you about a curb or a change. These are the smart, simple things that create true inclusion. Okay, we've covered the physical world. But let's be honest, a huge part of our lives now happens online, right? On our phones, our laptops. Access to information is just as vital as access to a building. So, what are the rules for our digital world? In India, our official digital standard is called IS 1782. The global benchmark that pretty much everyone follows is called WCAG. Now, here's the most important part. Our Indian standard is designed to be very, very similar to the global one. And that's fantastic, because it means if you build an accessible website for India, you're pretty much building it for the whole world. It's a total win-win. So, you'll hear this term a lot. WCAG 2.1 Level AA. It sounds complicated, but what it actually means for a user is pretty simple. It means you should be able to use a whole website without ever touching a mouse. It means if there's a picture, there's also a text description, so a screen reader can tell you what's in it. It's really about creating a digital space that works for everybody, no matter how they access it. Okay, we've gone through the laws, we've gone through the standards, but theory is one thing. Let's bring this down to earth and see how it all works in action. How does this stuff actually change our day-to-day lives? Let's take something almost all of us do. Banking. It's an essential service, and it's a perfect case study. The Reserve Bank of India has put out some very specific rules to make sure banking is accessible, both in person and online.
And these rules are super specific. We're talking about ATMs that talk to you and have braille on the keys, ramps at every single bank branch, special counters so people don't have to wait in long lines. They even mandate doorstep banking and make it illegal to discriminate when it comes to things like loans. You can see how these same ideas apply everywhere, from a hospital to a government office. This is what it looks like in the real world.
So, as we start to wrap this up, it's pretty clear that making India accessible isn't a one and done kind of thing. It's not a destination we just arrive at, it's a constant journey. It takes everybody, government, businesses, individuals, working together, always learning and always improving.
So, if you want a simple checklist to remember, here it is. For the law, you've got the RPWD Act of 2016. That's the foundation. For physical spaces, you've got the harmonized guidelines. That's your building code. And for the digital world, you have IS 17802 and WCAG 2.1 level AA. These three things are the pillars of an inclusive India.
At the end of the day, we have the laws, we have the standards, we have the roadmap. But real inclusion goes beyond a checklist. It's a mindset. It's about building accessibility into the very design of everything we create from the very beginning. So the question isn't just about whether our foundation is strong, but whether each of us is committed to building on it every single day. Thanks for joining me on this.